Welcome to the People Leaders Podcast, the audio resource for managers and business leaders creating high-performing teams. Join leadership and team development experts Jan and Michelle Turkelson each week as they explore both subjects from every angle. Through practical tips, valuable insights, and compelling interviews with leadership experts around the world, you'll learn how to bring out the best in your staff and how to give your best as a leader.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Jan. How are you? Excellent. Fantastic. So, what are we talking about today? I think we are really interested at the moment talking about career and role options. Through the course of the year, there are many people who are focused on just doing their job. But there are certain times of the year after the financial year and the reports and that they start to reflect on the work that they do and also the roles that they're doing. So we've put together a bit of a career guide and to help people who are either looking for a different role in their current organisation or looking for a different career. And there are so many elements involved in picking the right place where you're going to work and spend a third of your life.
That's right. And even for people who are quite satisfied in their role, we're talking to a group of people yesterday, and the issue is that organisations are changing so rapidly that if you don't do anything to improve your skills or expand your knowledge, then you will be left behind. So complacency can really be detrimental to you. So that's why this career guide is really important at every stage in your career.
That's right, because it's about adding value wherever you are, isn't it?
That's right.
So the planning process is a 5-step process. So first of all, it's knowing yourself. Second, it's exploring your options. The third is about making decisions on those options. Fourth is taking action. And then the fifth is actually putting it all together. So from any stage in this process, you will always know what the next most logical step is.
Yeah. And in a previous podcast, Jan, we actually went through the steps with people, but now what we've developed is two templates for people actually. So there's a career guide template that puts it all together for people. So it's almost like just answer the questions and you will get there. And so why don't we go through the template for people and then they can download the template from our website.
Great. All right. So step 1, knowing yourself. And this is when career development starts with knowing who you are. And in order to gain awareness of who you are and the preferences that you would use in a work environment, there are 3 key elements that we have identified. And the first one is values. So how would you describe a value, Michelle?
Basically, a value is, or your beliefs and ideas that are important to you really, and that you use as a guide in terms of the actions that you take or don't take. And a set of work values are really a subset of those values. So a broad value might be service to others, and a subset might be, working in a harmonious environment with people, something like that. So it's really a subset of your greater values.
And the reason why that's important is so if you needed to make a decision about something, you can just check in with your values. And we have what we've come across is the people who are using their values in the work environment have a deeper sense of meaning and satisfaction in the work that they do, meaning they love what they do.
They love what they do, and it's such a great, it's almost like a guiding post for people, is this, am I living my values every day, or am I able to express my values through my work, all those sorts of things.
And it may not be 100% of all your values, but at least, a key value is being satisfied in your work.
That's right.
All right, the second one are strengths.
Yeah, so there's so much information available on strengths, but what we do know, so definition basically are just your strengths, your natural talent combined with knowledge and experience will give you your strengths. So a natural talent is something that you're, already have a propensity or some sort of skill in some form. And we really encourage people to identify what their strengths are, because people, again, who are using their strengths in their work more satisfied, report higher income. There's a good one for people, and it's just more fun. Yeah, working to your strengths.
That's right. And so I can hear another podcast coming on.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right. And the third element in knowing yourself are skills.
Yeah, so basically a skill is almost like, it's a competency in a very particular area, an ability or to do an activity well, basically because you've practiced it. So as a strength is a natural talent that has been developed over years with knowledge and skill.
Like networking, perhaps.
Yeah, that's right. Whereas a skill is something that almost anybody can develop with enough practice.
So like analysing data or handling money.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
I need that skill.
Yep. And the other thing that we don't have on here, which is really important, it could be another column, could be what is your personality type in terms of knowing yourself. And we do actually put that down there. So do you have preference for introversion or extroversion? However, you don't have to have done your Myers-Briggs to use this career guide. And that's why we put it out like this without the personality on there, because not everybody's done that. So that's step one.
All right. Step two is exploring options. And here we invite you to identify 2 or 3 roles that you would like to explore. And this is looking at people in your organisation that you would like to perhaps step into their position or their role at some time, or the type of work that someone's doing in your organisation that, you would like to focus on.
Yeah, so it's almost like once you've had a look at your values, your strengths and your skills, you've gained a lot of self-insight as to what interests you. So now it's about applying that interest towards something. So it's towards a person who you think really has an interesting role or you really get on well with. It just could be as simple as that, or it could be more definitive and it could be a role that you feel that you could move into eventually.
That's right. So it's really about researching those specific skills and qualifications for each of those roles. And then you can align yourself, do my skills and interests and values line up with these roles?
Perfect, Jan. And in most organisations now, the larger organisations, you can get copies of job descriptions. In smaller organisations, you can actually just go and ask the person, perhaps.
Yeah. And then in an organisation yesterday, they said that they have a repository of all people development plans, so they can see how someone has moved through the organisation.
Fantastic.
So in this area, so it's identifying the roles, looking at the gaps, and exploring what options you actually have within those roles. Yeah,
correct.
All right. So step 3.
So step 3 is about making decisions. And again, this is about narrowing down the options, having a look at those potentially 3 roles or 3 career choices. We could substitute that. And then asking yourself, so what are my best work or training options now, given where I am in my current life cycle?
That's right, because someone might be looking for more work-life balance. Someone might be interested in focusing on a technical role or a people leader role.
That's right. And so you'd pull out each role and ask these questions. So, and also, how does it fit in with my particular skills and interests and values right now? And what are the advantages and disadvantages of each role? So what you can see is I'm starting to get clearer and clearer in terms of which type of role suits me best.
And just going through this process, Michelle, it helps people solidify what's important, because what people don't do, I think, is think enough. We're too reactive.
Yeah.
And just to think and reflect and sit with what it is that you want to project into the future allows you to step into the future being a little bit more prepared, paving the way.
That's right. You never know who you're going to run into, because people really do expect people of a senior level to know what their strengths are, what their values are, what they're good at. And gone are the days where we downplay that in Australia. You are expected to know that. So in step 3, making decisions, some of the activities and actions you can take is to seek out a mentor, either internally in the organisation or externally. Set up some meetings in your organisation with people who currently have those sorts of roles, and then talk to your manager in your next one-on-one. So there are a couple of activities and steps you can take beyond just identifying the role and looking at the training options that we mentioned
And
before.
I think that's another podcast, Michelle, that we'll talk about is how to seek out a mentor and the characteristics and aligning them to what it is that you want. And how you want to be mentored as well.
That's right.
All right, step 4 is taking action.
Yeah, so now you're ready to put your plan into action, and you might ask yourself, okay, so now that I've filled this out, got an idea of the roles, my skills, what I need to move forward, where I am in my career cycle, so what actions and steps can I take in order to move me forward towards my next role or expanding my knowledge in a certain area, filling those gaps, or career move.
Yeah.
You know, where can I get help, and, you know, who can support me?
And be a bit lateral with who can support
Yeah.
you. You know, like it could be someone on LinkedIn. It could be someone that you know that's in a different organisation that you know and trust, someone who is senior, or even who has just come in from a different organisation.
That's right. Yeah, lots of options. And then we've got, you know, the internet. So some of the actions to take is to identify what sort of training or skilling would prepare you for the role, because you've narrowed it down. Seek out some job shadowing opportunities, perhaps.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a day or, you know, a week, have a look and see if that's available to you. And then share this plan with your manager in your next performance discussion or one-on-one is a great idea. You could share this plan with your mentor. You could share this plan with a coach. If you have the opportunity to have a coach, what a great foundation on which to work with on a coach. This is a good piece of kit to use.
And one of the
actually.
tips that we heard yesterday from someone senior in an organisation is, you know, like when you are going through the hierarchy of an organisation, there are less roles up the top. So sometimes a lateral move is going to give you breadth of experience. So when that role is coming up, you've really prepared yourself.
Yeah, great. And then step five, putting it all together. So this is about, you know, how can we then put all of this information into maybe, you know, a one-pager almost. And so what we've developed is another template. We love our templates, don't we? So it's just an opportunity to capture something somewhere for you. So, you know, some people have bits in their journal and bits on a hard drive. This is just an opportunity for you to have all your career toolkit in one place.
And what it's identifying to yourself that this is important because you're spending the time to reflect, think, project forward, and, you know, really put some structure into your career and, you know, where you spend a lot of your time. So putting it all together. So the steps involved here is what is the possible role or career, which we've already done in step 2. What are the benefits of this possible, you know, shift in your role? What are the drawbacks? You know, what are the negatives? The next one is what interests are going to be fulfilled, you know, from this role.
That's right.
So this is this meaning and purpose aspect.
And then what personal characteristics will be expressed by this role or in this career. So this is going into the personality and the values and the strengths element. And then last one, what education or training is required for this role or this career. So there's your development plan.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And so we would recommend spending, you know, at least, you know, 30 to 40 minutes thinking about and putting together this template so you can, I don't know, feel satisfied that you've done something around your, who you are and how you're going to express your gifts and talents in this world and get rewarded from it.
Oh, great idea, Jen.
See ya. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode of the People Leaders Podcast. For show notes and other resources, please visit us at peopleleaderspodcast.com. While you're there, you can subscribe for future episodes so you can continue your own leadership journey. And please be sure to share this and other episodes with your friends and colleagues. The People Leaders Podcast is brought to you by the Experts on Air Podcast Network.